I was hired to clean out a hoarder's house after she died. What I found in her basement changed my family forever. I was hired to clean out a hoarder's house after she died alone. And in her basement, I found a box of letters and photos that revealed she was my husband's birth mother, the woman who abandoned him as a newborn 34 years ago. I own a small cleaning business specializing in difficult cases hoarder homes, crime scenes, places most cleaners won't touch. When the estate lawyer called about clearing out Miss Eleanor Reed's Victorian home, I quoted my standard rate and scheduled it as a routine job. The house was exactly what I expected. Newspapers stacked to the ceiling, narrow pathways between towers of collectibles, dozens of cat food dishes, though no cats, chemical hoarding situation sad, but nothing I hadn't seen before until I reached the basement. Unlike the chaotic upper floors, the basement was meticulously organized. One wall held floor-to-ceiling shelves with clear plastic bins, each labeled by year. Against another wall stood a single dresser with a baby blanket folded on top, pale blue with tiny embroidered elephants. I recognized that blanket immediately. My husband David sleeps with an identical one every night, his only possession from his birth mother, who left him at a fire station 3 days after he was born. He was adopted 6 months later by the wonderful people I now call my in-laws. My hand shook as I opened the nearest bin labeled 2024. Mindflied were newspaper clippings about a local engineering award given to David Mercer, 34, my husband, along with printed copies of his company's website and social media posts I had made about our family. The dresser drawers contained more. Every school photo ever taken of my husband, programs from his college graduation, our wedding announcement, birth announcements for both our children, a lifetime of surveillance without contact in a wooden box on top of the dresser. I found letters, dozens of them, all addressed to my son but never sent. The earliest was dated just weeks after she had left him at the fire station. I was 19 and alone. Your father was married. He threatened to hurt us both if I kept you. I thought giving you up was the only way to keep you safe. I watch you from a distance to make sure you're happy someday. When he's gone, I'll explain everything. Later letters detailed how she'd located his adoptive family, how she'd watch him play in the park, how proud she was of his achievements. The most recent letter, dated just 3 weeks before her death, revealed she had terminal cancer and finally felt safe to reach out because your biological father died last month. I sat on the basement floor surrounded by evidence of a lifetime of silent love and called my husband. When he arrived an hour later, he stood frozen at the bottom of the stairs, staring at the bins labeled with years of his life. She's been here all along, he whispered. 3 miles away. I showed him the letters. He read them without speaking, tears streaming down his face. When he finished, he picked up the baby blanket and held it against his identical one. I used to dream she was watching over me, he said. I thought it was just a kid's fantasy. We spent the next week sorting through Eleanor Reed's house beyond the obvious connection to David. She had been an engineer too, graduating at the top of her class in the 1980s. The patents in her name explained the surprising amount in her bank accounts. The lawyer confirmed she had changed her will just a month before her death, leaving everything to my son David Mercer with a letter explaining their connection. She had died before she could make contact. Yesterday we brought our children to see their grandmother's house before it sold. Our 6-year-old daughter wandered through the rooms that were now clean and empty. Did Drama Eleanor know us? She asked. She knew about you, David said carefully. She was too scared to meet us, but she loved us from far away like a guardian angel. Our daughter asked something like that, he said. We're still processing what this means for our family. David alternates between grief for the relationship they never had and anger at the choices she made. But last night I found him in our son's room carefully folding the 2 identical elephant blankets together. I want them to know the whole story someday, he said. How fear can make people keep love at a distance, but how love persists anyway. Sometimes the families we discover are as important as the ones we're born into, and sometimes a routine cleaning job reveals that strangers have been family all along.